If I may say this, I have to say this. COVID is the biggest lie since Christianity and Muslim. Right? And since then, the next biggest lie is trauma for a Yid. Trauma is opposite to everything that is now said. Trauma means something happened to me that could have been avoided. It's unfortunate that this happened to me. My life would have been a lot better if it didn't happen. And the same means my life could never have been other than this. I was created for this purpose. Data Shvi's job, Data Shvi's purpose is to get this going. Trauma means something, my life was going good and then this unfortunate situation happened and hurt me. And now that it hurt me, I'm wounded. I can't function anymore. I don't have the koyach to function anymore. I'm alone. There's no purpose here. Because what I actually did was weaken myself to a point I can't function anymore. And the Nisayon, if I forgot to tell you, the Nisayon means that I was created for this. My life couldn't be any different. And when I passed the Nisayon, I created tremendous simcha by Hashem. And all these things don't exist in the world of trauma. So everybody today, for whatever reason, got on this trauma bandwagon. I don't know how it works by Goyim, and I really don't care. But one thing I could tell you, by Yidden, it's not there. It's not there, because a Yid is by Muna, Pshuta, everything's from the Eibishter. And if something happened to him, his life could not have been any different than it is. And the Kachnot Tzarti were created for that. And when you overcome it, you're creating a tremendous nachlos for the Eibishter. That's motivating. Is it painful? Yeah. I'm not saying that if a person is going through an Nisayon is not in pain. But if you teach trauma as pain, we're good. But they don't teach trauma as pain. The first thing you have to recognize it's not trauma, it's pain. Why would Hashem give me the pain? Why would Hashem hide? Hashem hide because Hashem wants me to overcome the pain and still act the way you're supposed to act. That's a Nisayon. That's the debilitating. That's turning the darkness into light. You see what's going on over here? And for the world of me, I was in a political prison for 8 years, like on a cave somewhere. I don't understand how this happened. The world changed. Everybody today is busy talking about traumas. A trauma I had, a trauma I had, a big trauma, a small trauma, a multiple trauma, you had generational trauma. You can't get rid of this trauma, my son. Where did this come from? Where did this come from? What are you trying to explain? What are you trying to explain? What are you trying to explain? Teddy's telling you what's going on. Teddy's telling you there's a yechet, there's klippa. There's a hell of a hester in the world. Mask him. It's a trauma. The Rebbe says, live with your neshama and your goof will follow your neshama. So what are you busy with the traumas on your goof? The goof doesn't, the fakir. You have a neshama, so the traumas on your all this nonsense doesn't work by Yidden. They don't even take into account the fact there's a neshama. And then and to top it off, everybody has their own truth. Where did that come from? There couldn't be, first of all, it's stupider than stupid. You know, one time I realized people that sin are stupid. Not because they're smart people, but the sin makes them stupid. What do you mean everybody has their own truth? There's only one truth. But you're supposed to, but the whole mime is to take a sheker or elam and turn over the truth. The truth is the Eibishter. Ein v'vadei. We live in a world of sheker. Our job is to change the sheker, the truth. Mitamanayim, everybody has their own truth. Where did that come from? You can't be judgmental. How do I can't be judgmental? I was watching people driving the car today. I got off the airport. Everybody stays their lane. I'm not judgmental. I go into any lane I want to. I don't judge if there's a red light or not there. I go wherever, when I want. There's a car in front of me. I can keep on going. What are you not judgmental? You're judgmental every second day is there. What are you not judgmental? But you're not judgmental. This Chaim, this Mavis, this Tevin, this Ra. You don't see, they got us off the very basics of Torah. And that's where we are today. And that's where we are today. That's the real shtus that the Maimon is talking about. How we got, I don't know. But there can't be anything stupider than all this. Everybody has his own truth. And I was about Bar Mitzvah, and a very smart guy gets up and says, I'm going to say something, I know other guys don't like it, but I have my own truth. I said, really? It used to be I have my own opinion, I see it this way. I have my own truth. Now how do you argue that? It used to be Teres Meisha. Now everybody tries to argue that Teres Meisha. Now everybody talks their own truth. You could be more meshukah than that.
So how do you talk to them? That honest, like mental illness.
What's the question?
Because the people say it's my own truth. They're mentally ill. Like you can't even talk to them reason anymore because they're brainwashed.
But you use the wrong words. Words carry. I have Baruch Hashem, I learned a lot of by the Yale Khan. And one of the things he really drove into is, maybe more by the way he did things than what he said, he always is careful to use the right words for the right situation. They don't have their own truth. Their understanding of the situation is this unclear. It's confusion. Your job is to bring them to the truth. You convince yourself to have a truth. They don't have their own truth. They're confusion.
Correct.
If you learn in Torah where it talks about the Yetzer Hara, what's the biggest weapon of the Yetzer Hara? It's confusion. Questions, confusion. It's not their own truth. But the problem is you drop a line and you say a statement. The guy's mentally ill and he has his own truth. He doesn't have his own truth. He's unable to establish the truth because his inability of his faculty is not working properly. So your job is to help him find the truth. Now, if you really believe that he has a neshama, and the neshama is healthy, so then you could help him get to the truth. But when he has his own truth, kukurikul. Kukurikul means, I don't know how to say this. There's only one emes, Teret Meisha emes, Terasi emes, Hashem emes. What can he do if he has his own truth?
Right.
It's not a cop out, it's a lie. It's a lie. L'chaim. No, it's time to take it back. It's time to stop saying that the world wants to say that's Sheker Elam. It's time the world's saying the wrong thing. Whatever they want, there's no traumas. There's nishaynus. There's no trauma, there's pain. I'm not saying there's no pain. A guy went through pain. But when they say the word trauma, that comes with, they want to say, therefore, your body was changed, and you can't function anymore. Where in the world does that fit in Torah? Well, you make me like this, mach's mazeh. It's mamish kfirah. What happened to mich shalt al alev? What happened to mich shalt al alev? And let me ask you a question. How come I'm not traumatized? I'm telling you stories of a place called prison. I was there, they went to 27 years. They took everything. How come I don't have trauma? I'm asking a question. Answer me. I'm not a Superman. I'm a regular guy born in Borough Park in New York, a chassid that ever. I learned Torah mitzvahs, and I don't have trauma. Why don't I have trauma?
Because you're in tune with the truth.
Because I could. Huh?
Some people say you do have.
I don't have trauma. Huh? How do you know you're alive? How do you know? Because I'm talking about situations that people with traumas don't talk about. That's why I know. That's how I know. How do you know? How do you know? How do you feel? How do you feel? Huh? No, it's traumatic that the chutzpah, that they came in with trauma and they stole the truth from us. That's the chutzpah. I can't tolerate this. You don't understand, the word trauma is anti-Yiddishkeit mamish. The word trauma denies the whole inyan of Nisayon. The word trauma denies the whole inyan of Neshama over the goof. It takes everything apart. It explains you things in ways that put you into a box, that put you into Mitzrayim. Trauma is a philosophy that they have, but they're the party. They're putting you into prison. Because Torah tells you you're not in prison. Torah tells you have a neshama that's not in prison. Torah tells you you have a neshama that's beyond everything in the God. And they'll tell you, no, we're talking about goof. My says your goof doesn't lie, does lie. Oh, who your goof lies? The goof doesn't lie. The goof ain't shtick liegen. See what happens to it after 120 years. What happens to this thing? What my years? We used to have a clarity. Emes Hashem, neshama, nesayin. It was hard. But we had clear. Mitzvah mother came in with this fancy, convoluted names, and we got sideswiped. I'm trying to explain to you, it's not true. I want to tell you a question. What is the question? I posed the question. They took me and they put me into jail and they told me I have a 27 years. It was the day that the United States of America. The last time I checked, it's a world power. And the world power has a court that is a very powerful institution, and they told me they're staying in prison for 27 years. Okay? So they bring me to prison. Now, prison is a very traumatic place. It has fences and barbed wire. People tell you what to do. They couldn't flip a burger in Burger King for $5 an hour. And they're Valentine Balabatim. I'm giving you the type of situation that's going on over there. You can't do what you want. You can't see what you want. You're suddenly in their hands for 24/7. You're with people you don't want to be with. Your life is on an end. You have a family. V'chula. Yeah. They put you there. So if it's the prison that's causing you the trauma, I want to ask you a question. The guy with 27 years should be more traumatized than the guy with 3 years or not? So I was there. They gave me a 27-year sentence. And there was guys there with 3-year sentences, 3 or 4 years. A group of guys. Yeah. Who do you think should be more traumatized by this prison in the sentence? Me or them?
3 years.
No, why? 27 should be more traumatized than 3.
27 years of trauma.
If it's the outside.
3 guys angry about it, and you got time.
What?
Well, logically, 27 years of
He has
trauma
to
is
think
worse.
about what he just said. Give him a minute.
Anyway, you hear my point. The biggest raya, people don't stop a second think. They want to blame everything on outside experiences that are affecting you. Torah says fakert. The outside experiences is not what affects you. It's the way you translate those experiences. You could be in a place called prison and realize it's in the Sayin, and realize it's in Avodas Hashem, and have B'toch Hashem for you, and not be traumatized. And you can be in a place called prison and think this is the worst thing happened to you. There's a punishment and be traumatized for 3 years. It's not the prison, because if it was the prison, then they should be less traumatized than me. In the pale, I was less traumatized than them. So here's how they upended our whole education system. We always understand things from the nefesh. I mean, guys, I'm in the Lubavitcher Shul over here, right? We're going to agree?
Yes.
Okay. We're always going on to the nefesh, to the plimius, aren't we? Nefesh Elikis, nefesh Abamis. It's not the outside experiences that affect us. It's the nefesh that makes things happen. How does trauma fit in? Trauma is outside experiences. So you have a guy like Avraham Avinu who can experience a very bad father, like Terach. You can have Yaakov Avinu who can have a miserable brother like Esav. You can have Yaakov Avinu who has a Meshuggah Shever like Lavan. You have Yidden that wind up in Pari and Mitzrayim, and they can overcome all of that because they're all doing Hashem's work. And they're getting ready for Batan Torah. It's not the outside experiences that define us. It's what we're doing with it. And they want to come with a whole new shita. It's not what you're doing with it. It's with the outside experiences that are doing it to you. And that's why it's Eilu Dvarim She'ein Lahem Shir. You'll never get rid of your traumas. Because you get rid of one, another one will bump on you. And as long as you have enough money, as long as you have insurance that will pay for the money, it's going to go on and on forever. I got a lady that she's 12 years on a journey to health. She's 12 years, you can't make the stuff up. She's as miserable as you can be, but she's on a journey to health for 12 years. She's already working on 12 years on a journey to health. Health or hell, I'm not sure exactly what she said. It's about the same thing. She's healing for 12 years. So brachos u'shasna alein, forget about it. But she's healing. Don't mix in, because she's part of the healing process. You know what meshuggah means? Meshuggah means, meshuggah, If you took a step back and watched the scene, you'd laugh yourself. But these are nuances. I'm trying to tell you, it's by whether you're learning Chivas Alvavis, Shaykh Damaisi, you're learning Tanya, whatever you're learning, you'll find out that it's not the outside experiences that make you. It's your inner nefesh that makes you. And that's why by Yiddishkeit, in 1 second you become a Baal Tshuva. In 1 second you become good. You don't have 12 years of a journey, a Maisa Meshuggah stuff to sein. 12 years. And then she's not healed either. She's on a journey. she has a good insurance plan. It's billable. It's for the end. It's no problem. If you took nefesh, forget nefesh you can heal. Nefesh, you are healthy. And you're healthy nefesh, everything comes around. You have the difference here. This is Basa Lagani. This is Dira B'Tachteinim. This is the understanding of who we really are, what we are. And that's why the confusion in today's world is this. We're allowing the Sheker Olam to dictate to us who we are. And with Farbrengen tonight, and I'm trying to tell you is, get back to the Maimah Basa Lagani. Get back to that Maimah, then you'll be happy. You may have a hard time, you're pain, you have avodah. I'm not saying the kedusha want avodah. I'm not saying, but you have an avodah with simcha. You're creating simcha. David is happy with you. You're actually doing something. When you're a skaf, you're bringing Ira Seviv into the world. It's hapcha. That's what's going on. So this guy, I forgot about this guy Ghost. I still Ghost. I forgot this guy still Ghost. L'chaim. So I walked by this guy. I think his name is Rosenberg. You know Rosenberg?
No.
Is there Rosenberg here?
No.
Okay. And he makes a big announcement. Hey guys, the guy has string hanging out of his pants. Yeah. I walk by. I'm in a very dangerous place. I don't like this going on. And I realized a new guy came and he's making trouble. He's a Sodas. So I'm thinking to myself, what's going to be here? So in a flash of a moment, I got to make a decision. Do I turn around and stop him, or do I let it make believe I didn't hear him? And David made it. I can't tell you why it was machriya, but the chroya was. The conclusion was, I'm going to go back. I'm going to tell him to stop right now. I turned around and walked over to him. I said, "What's your problem?" This guy's a head taller than me. I'm like a whack. But I had to tell him, "What's your problem?" I expected a punch, a flying, and then instead he tells me, "Oh, I wasn't making. I know what it is. I know he was a Jewish man." Wow. And he tells me, "I don't know. I know you call it this. It's tzitzis, right? Tzitzis." And he said, "Tzitzis like a Jew."
This is Ghost?
Mr. Ghost. Yeah. I say, "Jewish?" He says, "Yeah." For all people. So I stepped into another room on the side. I said, "What's going on?" He tells me he's a boy. He was born in Florida. And there he was in Talmud Torah. And it was wild. He said, I was wild again. He think of the streets. He went to the streets, and he became part of gangs. He became a gang member, then he became a gang leader. Can you imagine? He became a gang leader over some Mexican gang in Florida. I don't know, some La Judíos. I don't know what it is. CEO. Different gang. Anyways, my and they did something. I don't know. They did not. I don't believe. He wound up in a security prison that's higher than where I was. I was like a medium, and he wasn't high. He was the highest. I one under the highest. Medium sounds part of it. Medium was pretty severe, and he was there for 10 years, and he had a 12-year sentence. I like this. Rubashkin needed 27 years to spend. This guy needed 12. Anyway, so he had a 10-year sentence. After 10 years, 12 years, he took him down, and they brought him to where I was. Why? Hashem wanted me to meet him. That's why. Yeah, if this didn't happen, I never would have met him. I don't walk around asking people who they are. Not yeah. So now that I knew who he was, next morning he came over to me. He needed something. I said to him, "I'll help you." And then I said, "You want to put on film?" He said, "Yes, but okay." Yeah. The yeah. Bashantav said that you first do a favor with Gashmi. So he came over to me. He needed something. I helped him, and then I said, "Okay, let's put on film."
What does it mean if you put your tefillin on him? Is there any significance in that in regards to you?
He had no film.
In regards to you, what does that mean?
I'm not sure. So that's what we always do. I didn't think about it. Why, you think you heard something special?
No, I'm thinking because they say the Rebbe never put his tefillin on anybody. But
Stop it.
No, but okay, but
I remember I was 13 years old. I asked the guy to put on tefillin. He tells me, "I'll give you my tefillin. Don't have machshavas zaras." I said, "Give me your tefillin yourself. Your machshavas is okay." Stop it.
okay,
That's
I didn't say that. But
Yeah.
I think there must be some significance in putting. He's wearing your tefillin, so technically, there is some, maybe very little bit significance that when you put on tefillin, you're connecting to him.
What do I
when
care?
he put on tefillin.
The Jewish man is okay. I'm okay. Avos Yisrael. War one.
Yeah.
There you go. So anyways, the bottom line is he started putting, here's the point. The point is this guy, Mr. Ghost, Mr. Rosenberg, didn't put on, from time to time, I would ask him every day, I would try to cop him and ask him about film, but he didn't always put on film. He sometimes would say okay, and sometimes he would tell me he's very busy. Anyways, busyness. Bottom line, one day I'm sitting in there, I'm learning my shiurim in the morning, and in comes, hey, Richla, here's the story, there you go. Richla!
Richla, why don't you hear the story?
Huh?
This story.
I don't know, I just want to finish the story again. So this ghost guy comes in, and he says to me, no, this is Mamash and Maisa from the Rebbe. He walks in the morning. I never saw him 9 o'clock. He says, "Rabbi, you have a minute for me?" He says, "Yeah." So I want to put on film. Never. A year, I know him over a year. Never came to ask me to put on film. So I put on film. I asked him, you look like you're very, very anxious. What's going on? He looked like he was like, Mama's over. So he says, yes. Last few days, he was called into the office by Mrs. Whatever. I know the lady, and she told him that you're being released in 2 weeks. Mazel tov, you're home, I'm so happy for him. So he was Rosenberg. So I said, Rabbi, take it easy. I couldn't understand what's the call. So he tells me that, and I forgot there's a name for this in prison. There's a name for this in prison. No, that when they finally told they're leaving. There's a name. They got nervous, and he got it. He got nervous. He said, "What's going to be? They're going to get me out. I'm going to leave. Where am I going to go to? Who's giving me a job? I'm a felon." Blah 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 blah. So maybe he tells me this tough guy. This guy, he had knife. He wasn't there a few months. He had knives in his pockets. This guy was out of the box. He tells me. He's afraid what's going to be. He leaves. Who's going to hire him? He doesn't go back. He doesn't go back to his old ways. And what's going to be with him? So he can't sleep at night. So he came to calm down, and he asked me to put on film. That's the story. What's the story? What does film have to do with calming down? Will ich dir sagen? It was a peldige Meise. He knew. You know, over there, if you want to calm down, you can go to this 5, 6, 7, I don't know, so depending on the day. That's 6, 7 psychiatrists there for sure. You go to them, I can't fall asleep at night, and they give you a prescription, and they give you drugs. They got into jail for drugs, and he gave drugs in jail, so I gargle a chaser, you know. I go upon him. He knew he can go for drugs. He did not look for drugs to calm him down. He came to it's a peldige Meise. So I'll tell you, I was by Farbrengen from Rebbe. And the Rebbe was talking about Neshama. There was a, today called Shabbos in the Heights, encounter with Chabad. It used to be called Begisha, Shkeach, Begisha. And the Rebbe says Sikha for the Pekisha guys. And that year the Rebbe said that when a baby is born, the baby does not know. He's talking about how come you have to do a mitzvah even before you know the value of the mitzvah. He explains that when a baby is born, the baby does not know what food is. And the baby starts crying. Why is he crying? Because he has a discomfort. He's something bothering him. He doesn't know hunger. He doesn't know hunger. He doesn't know what hunger is. He has discomfort in his stomach and he feels upset by fifed. He cries. The mother sees he's crying. He realizes the diaper's clean, food is food, and that's it. The pain goes away. This repeats itself 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 5 months, 10 months, until the baby figures out that this pain is associated with food, and that's when the baby starts asking for food. So the Rebbe drew a correlation between that and the neshama. Every yid is born with a neshama. And I remember the Rebbe saying, very Princeton Mazel Tov. The Rebbe says that for reasons we don't understand, some Yidden get born to parents that never tell them what Yiddishkeit is. I remember the Rebbe saying, for reasons we can't understand. Why do some neshamas come down here? You tell me. Why do some neshamas come down and get into a family, a chassidische family, that tells them mitzvahs, and some children get born to Azacha families, they don't know the Yidden even. We don't know. We don't know. But we both have a neshama. And if you don't feed the neshama is going to cry. The neshama is going to feel empty. And but doesn't know what it is. Eventually, doesn't know what it is. And this is what happened with the ghost. Ghost felt when he came every day to put on film, not every day. When I put on film with him, I didn't realize then his neshama felt a certain satisfaction, a certain level of ruyikite, because when a yid does a mitzvah, he feels ruyik.
Anti-anxiety.
Anti-anxiety, exactly. And by the way, look at the Rebbe's letters. The Rebbe says, because your neshama, the anxiety comes when you have a conflict, when your big being is in conflict with his existence. When a Jew is not in conflict with his existence, he has anxiety. He doesn't know what it is. And but so when he does a mitzvah, he feels calm. And this ghost came that morning when he felt he needed help because he was going through a dramatic thing in his life. He didn't go for drugs. He went to do the mitzvah because he would put on film. Somehow he felt that thing. And then the guy next, there's a hamshech. From this story came another story. There's a Russian guy in Brighton Beach. Yeah, he tells me he has a friend who he came from Russia together with his friend. He got a bris milah by 10 years old, and his friend got a bris milah also like that. And they both grew up in Brighton Beach. For what kind of great education they got. He went his way, his friend went another way, and the friend became what's known. He knew him as a high adrenaline junkie. You know what that means? Tamake sheliksub b'teira. It means high adrenaline junkie means he has to go. He's a junkie. And he needs high adrenaline. It means he used to go every time there was...
Stuff.
Huh?
Does very dangerous stuff.
Yeah, he used to go parachuting and high... and the gliding, whatever they do over there. Paragliding. And that's what he was friend. Then he notices his friend, this is his buddy from Russia, bumps into, he told me the name, Rabbi Wiener from Brighton Beach. Zisha Wiener, yeah. And we caught him to Yiddishkeit, and he started keeping Shabbos and Kashas, putting on film and whatever, yeah. And mitzvah, he sees his friend getting more caught up with Yiddishkeit, and he stops his adrenaline junkie stuff. He doesn't go so often to the parachuting. That's finished. So he thought the whole time, this guy was telling me the story, thought that somehow these wacky, tacky Lubavitchers are a cult of they tell you can't religious, you can't go paragliding. It's not true. So you can go, right? But what's the MS? This guy, the neshama, was draining him a cup. And he found out when he does a high adrenaline stuff, he calms himself down. So he thought that's his answer. But when he started doing mitzvahs, his neshama was able to express himself and he stopped. He didn't need it anymore. That's what happened. And that's the answer to all our ills of our generation, guys. Not trauma. Take the word trauma. Okay, why hit by your head? Why happens to be a great guy? Your cousin, they're beautiful, I love him. But trauma is the biggest lie since COVID. And COVID is the biggest lie since Christianity and Muslim. Yeah, so you have it. So you have the whole picture.
You're mentioning YY. I was by Simon gave a talk recently. Simon gave a talk.
I got one more story. One more story, then we're gonna call it night. I gotta tell you one more story.
Rabbi Richler, sit down.
On this note, I tell you one more story, and then I can, yeah. If you only, I want to make it clear again. Instead of calling it trauma, call it pain.
Yeah.
Call it pain.
Pain.
Pain. Today has pain.
It's real.
And don't tell me don't be judgmental. You have to be judgmental. Be chaim l'moves. When you're driving a car, you're judgmental every second. You stop the car when you have to. You make a right blinker when you're turning a right. You see, but what's not judgmental? Naya Maisa. You have to identify the action. You don't shut down your midas. You're the action. We're going to be judgmental. The person you can't judge because the person has in the neshama. But it's not that to be judgmental. The actions are fair. The actions that are. This action brings Shekhinah down here, and this action pushes Shekhinah up here. What do we have to be judgmental? Where did this come from? You don't judge the person. The person you can't judge. You can't judge the person. Oh, but the action, the maisa is ra. Fair, or tev, any from the Veda. With a maisa tev, you're bringing the Shekhinah down. With a maisa ra, you're pushing it up. What do you mean you're not judging? You live your life all day, you're living your life of judgment. This is a good guy, said, we're not judging. You're living a life of lies. Open up your eyes. The way you live your life, that's what I want to say. The Chaim. When we do Hashem's Ratzon, it's not stam. It's not about schar. It's not about what we're gaining. It's about doing why we were created. That's what your Shvat is. Your Shvat is Dira b'tachtenim, the kachnotzorto. It's not about your traumas. It's about nisyenis. It's about doing what Hashem wants. L'chaim.